Wait till he tells you.
No, that's fine.
Okay, we're going down to the show with Ace Brown and Tony De Renzo.
I'm H. Brown. Tony De Renzo is on the camera here. We're at Civic Center Residence Club where we have, essentially, we're trying to improve the security in the building. We've got cops here today to talk. We've got tenants. And behind me, or to the side of me, I have two lovely women, Tanya and Tanya. And if you pronounce their names differently, they'll get pissed at. Come on, Tanya, come on. I lied to you. I lied to you. This is a complicated building. Anyway, it's about security. It's about security and Tenderloin SROs. And Tanya is a tenant. Tanya is a caregiver. This is a complicated building. There are 214 residents in here, and we have services ranging from. We have caregivers. How many caregivers are in the building? Any idea?
I don't know.
Out of 214, you have an awful. Would you guys mind getting in the shot in the background? Our stars today are from the Tenderloin Police Department, and they're a couple, which is very rare. I mean, we had Bonnie and Clyde, and now we have Irene and Bryan. And here comes Captain Garrity. Stand behind us and give us a shot. We can blend this stuff together really quick. We'll go. Tony, get it in. Tony, get it in.
No, I can't get it.
Here's the essence of the show. This is about SRO security in the Tenderloin. Tony and I have been here 30 years apiece. He's shooting on the camera. Behind us is the district captain, John Garrity, who's probably busted us a couple of times over the years. But we all come back and we stay here for years. It's been a decade anyway. But what we're doing is we're trying to build community within the building. The number one problem that the cops have to help them in preventing crime in the Tenderloin is what? People don't talk. People won't talk to the cops because they don't trust them. I thought,
or they're afraid.
Crazy. Are they afraid? Absolutely. Are you afraid in your building? You see a lot of stuff like that.
Sometimes.
We've thought of a lot of different ideas to get people to deal with the cops and to deal with the building management of things that happen. And it doesn't have. It can be something as simple as taking $50 a month off the rent for somebody on each floor, so that they'll just tell you what's happening on the floor. Not going to court, just tell you that. What do you think of that idea?
I think it would be a good idea, but with a lot of the tenants would be willing to pay for it. That's the whole thing.
No, they don't pay. They get paid. Like on your floor, you get $50 rent reduction just for talking to us, for talking to a tenant group or whatever. You can do it. I'm just saying that I see all the time, and I'm 69 next month, and I grew up in the housing projects in St. Louis, and I see it everywhere across the thing, is people won't talk to the cops, which makes the cops' job extremely hard. This is one of the toughest places in the country to manage. I mean, look outside of our building. This is a very rough neighborhood, and the idea of pushing this is, and we'll edit this, it'll go on, is Captain Garrity here. You know what he's got going here? Do you know how many people he's got to manage in front of our building?
No, I don't.
About 3 million a year. You count the
That's a
parades.
lot of
You
people.
count the parades. I've watched this guy out on top of buildings, rearranging troops and all that. You get 750,000 people in a good parade here. He's responsible for that. You get all of the drug dealers coming in from out of town, all that. That falls on his ass. It falls on the officers directly behind this nice couple, Irene and Bryan Michaud. Is it? How do you pronounce it? You're French.
Yeah.
You speak French? My best friend is French. It falls on cops that work on the Tenderloin are a very, very special group. It might be as tough in the Bayview, but nobody deals with as many people from as more varied people than the cops in the Tenderloin do. So we should talk to the cops in the Tenderloin.
Yeah, I agree to
That's
that.
what I'm pushing after.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Tanya, come here. This is Tanya and Tanya. Tanya is a caregiver. She's lived in the building before. She's has a bunch of clients who are in the building. What do your clients tell you about your level of living in the building? Do you hear horror stories that are not reported to the police?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, people get harassed outside in front of the building. Maybe not so much inside because I think everybody knows who's who and maybe who not to associate with. But I think a lot of it comes from outside in the street. We get a lot of drunks, we get a lot of drug addicts, and sometimes they harass you even trying to come into the building. And Leavenworth Street, of course, is not right here. That's terrible. I mean, I walk down that every day, and what I want to say is I could have overdosed in 3 blocks just coming down here with everybody going, do you want some of this, do you want some of that? And it come right up to you even. It's like, please, okay? So that block is really scary, even just coming down here. You know, so all this little area right here, I know the cops work hard, you know, I see them all the time up in there. So I know it's a tough area.
It's I'm thinking of inside the building and internally, particularly. I mean, we've got. I watch a tour bus come by here every day. I listen to them under my window, and they give this little speech. This is Patty Hearst's grandpa's bank, and she robbed a branch of it, and blah 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 blah. But nobody mentions that a member of the SLA that held her captive lives in our building next door, which is pretty fascinating thing. Let me throw it back to the officers here. You guys have been down here a while. Are you San Franciscans?
No, I grew up on the East Coast.
I am.
You are? Where are you from?
Sunset District.
Sunset District? You San Francisco?
Yes.
Is it really true that all that matters for advancement is where you went to high school?
No, because I didn't go there.
But there's 2 schools, SISH, right?
No, that's an old wives' tale. They have civil service testing now. That's the thing. But like you said, like Brian and Irene have been down there, and they choose to be down here, and they're 2 of our best. That's what's nice.
The neighborhood said, get them on camera and you'll sell it. What it's about, and I'll edit this out
like
probably,
we're saying,
we're trying to get Twitter to put money into
It's tough for us now.
law enforcement and SRO programs.
We appreciate what you're doing, H and Tony, because we had 91 officers, Brian and Irene know before, in July of 2010. Now we're down to 69. But we're starting to come back up because they have more academy classes, but it's been rough for us. We need input from the community and talking to them. I think we do a good job what we do now. We do other things, besides, we donate to the Angel Child program over at, Midge Wilson's Berry Women's Group. We give hot dogs to the Boys and Girls Club. But the thing is, getting to know the people better, like you said, trying to get people in the building, it's tough because a lot of times in the building, people become isolated. Even though this is a TNDC building, the 44 McAllister's does a good job, but they still have to go outside to run their errands, go to the doctor, like this lady was saying. So that's what we have to come into play here. You don't want to be self-contained in your own building.
There are 73,000 voters in your precinct. How many total residents do you have?
In the district? It depends in the Tenderloin, in our geographical area for the police station, it's about 24,000, they say. But then that you know, and that could double or triple because it's very transient. The biggest problem we have, and Brian and me can tell you this, 2/3 of all of our arrests people who do not live or work in this area. And that's the problem. Because you know,
Good transportation.
right, transportation, and unfortunately,
That's why there's no park to the Richmond or the Sunset.
Because there's
Or
problems.
Moran.
it's a problem because they come out here and you know they come to other places to sell drugs and do it, to commit their crime. It's people who live and work here. 2/3.
Now, you guys have hung out here for a long time. Why? Why in the hell? I mean, you got to be able to choose something else.
Right?
Can you be Cagney and Lacey only want a guy? I mean, why haven't you become detectives? Did you take tests for that? You really don't?
No.
We enjoy working in the tenant line. We enjoy the people.
Are you a novelist or something?
You know what? We've been here for so long, and we do. We talk to a lot of the people that are here. We do know them. You know, there are good people here. We have a great station. The people that we work with are good people, good bosses, and I can't imagine being anywhere else right now. Maybe in the future, later along the line, we'll see what happens. But we enjoy.
How many years have you been here now? You've been here what?
Since '96.
Wow.
So
I've been down here.
17 years. God, all right. I'm telling you.
You've been down here 30 years at
The mounted
least?
unit comes up for us, we'll take it, for sure.
The horses.
The horses.
And they'll be back down here on the horse.
This is, hey, New Orleans has one of, they used to, I don't know now, but I used to go to New Orleans 30 years ago every year for Mardi Gras when I was a firefighter, and you deal with the cops and the firemen down there. And they said that they deal with 1 million drunks every day with 1,000 cops on the street in Mardi Gras. And the way they do it is mounted cops. They know how to use horses in a crowd, and plus the shifts are 4 hours long. And they keep black buses off on the side streets, and they go through at the end of their shift, and the buses are full, even if you aren't even staggered or whatever. And they get them all, and they put them in a stadium, give a $100 fine the next morning, and they're back on the street. But they keep the crowd in the street intimidated with horses. Horses.
Well, horses can be also a good thing too.
Have you ever done mounted patrol?
No, I've never actually. We try to bring them down here because it brings a good visual presence, and also they can see.
Hey, quick question. This is Dave Sider, is that right?
Dave Siler, I'm the tenant.
He's with TNDC and he started joining.
Why was I not informed? Hey, it's good to see you. I'm on the Tenderloin TNDC Board of Directors. This is good. You were aware of that? You were not aware of that?
Was I not aware? I'm aware. Let me finish. Let me give the cops a chance to get out of here. What I'm wondering is, there's been a whole change in police work since I was a little kid. I grew up in St. Louis, and we had the cop Murphy on the beat. He bounced his billy club, and he went up and down, and everybody knew him. And he didn't have a cell phone, and he didn't have a radio, and he didn't have a car. Did you ever walk a permanent beat?
Yeah, I had the beat on Turk between Mason, Jones, Leavenworth, Hidden, down the other way from 1982 to 1996. 14 years.
And you know what, the first thing that I realized when we came out and we're talking to everybody about this, doing this show, everybody knows you. And what happens is at 3 o'clock in the morning, if you don't know the people on the beat, if you're chasing a killer through an apartment house and people are looking out and going, they'll shut your door and they'll wait. When 2 cops got killed, or was it 3, in Oakland a few years ago, remember that? They did a stop, and what happened? You know how they got that guy? The woman standing at the side, somebody like Tanya, and me, stood there, and she said, I waited till I saw a cop that I knew, and then I told them where he would be. And that happened. You've got to know the people on the beat. You guys know the people on the beat. You're heroes, but that is rare. In your day, that was the norm, right?
But it was normal, but see, you have to have people that have buy-in and want to be in an area, that want to be like Brian and Irene do, but they do also other things. You know, they play clothes, they do uniform, or they choose to stay in uniform. But when we do operations, we try to use them because they have experience in the area. But the problem is that when that happens, sometimes people know the face. But also good thing, if something happens, they're a great resource for the younger officers. And for me, being down a long time, I'm a resource for them too, because I know the area. We just talk about the people. But, you know, the most important thing, like you mentioned, for the buildings here, and we talked the other day with TNDC and the group about having maybe monitors on the floor, like the dorm, so each floor would have a monitor. They can report to staff, or the staff would have to filter and see what's important, and then we can see what's going on. If somebody come to the building, brought somebody that was supposed to be here overnight and there was a problem, we can abate that a little bit. It helps to have that. But you have to have continuity in the building.
We're working on that at TNDC. We're working on that as you speak. And
introduce yourself again.
I'm Dave Seiler from TNDC. I'm a member of the board of directors and a resident.
And Dave, we were talking that the other day. That's kind of part of the Paper Tiger program, what they want to do.
Yeah.
With you guys.
When I work with the captain here and I see these officers every once in a while, what we're doing and following up on what the captain was talking about, we are attempting to develop a kind of fire watch system where when there are no employees available, no immediate response during an emergency, we have residents who are responsible to the building and available and accessible to the residents during a situation where there are no immediate response providers in the area at that time. We're developing that where each floor, each individual resident is accounted for through these fire watch type residents so that we can access them. 2 days ago, I was actually looking at, in this building, we have 40 residents, Tanya is one of them, that are unable to maneuver themselves effectively through the building and get out of the building in a timely manner during an emergency situation. We're working on that process where we have individual fire watch residents who go to a certain area, go to an individual's room, who can account for these individuals and account for the various areas of their assignment and move them along. So when the officers or the fire department is out there and say, who's here, who's not here, they can say, we got these people are somewhere else, we need help with that situation. So that makes sense, and that's something that we're working on. We're doing a lot in the Tenderloin as far as residents go. We're doing the greening of the Tenderloin through Ryan Clear, through the community outreach group. We're working with all the residences, all of our 30 buildings within the Tenderloin TNDC group and other groups that we're working with. We got Hattie, who's also from the community outreach group. She's out there. We're usually down at City Hall talking about the big business situations that are going on, how much they're going to, someone mentioned that just a few minutes ago, how much, you mentioned about your contributions. Well, these large businesses were on top of that group, on top of tech groups that are, they're here making their big bucks. We're ensuring that they're giving a fair business prospect to the Tenderloin residents and employment and economic benefits that will fuse into the Tenderloin as a result of their making their economics here. We're doing stuff like that, and I think it's important that we have some sort of positive flow.
Let me cut in here a little bit and go back to the cops here. You've got 2,200 members on your force. You're budgeted for that. You stay 200, 250 short. That doesn't mean you're understaffed, right?
No,
because you make up for with overtime what you're lacking. You don't.
They have been doing that. In the past, they used the backfill in the overtime. They haven't done that because most cities, like San Jose and Oakland, have laid off police officers. San Francisco's kind of gone by attrition. So they haven't backfilled that because the money's not there. Some of the departments, the budget was slashed, not slashed, but it was just not pared down. So, but like I said, they've hired a new academy class. We have 7 more training at the station now, and they're going to have another class graduating.
Let me put you on the spot. You're San Franciscans. No offense, Brian.
Brian,
you guys do lateral hires exclusively now. To me, that's a disaster. Not hiring, grooming people and kids and hiring them out of the neighborhoods and all that. How long have you been doing lateral transfers? Only for 3-4 years or something?
No.
But you already have to have the law enforcement certification before you enter. You're hiring San Franciscans now.
Yes. So what they had before, they started hiring laterals in 1989. They had 6. So the most of the time they add a lateral class is going to be maybe a dozen at the most. But the bulk of the classes, they're separate classes. The bulk of the classes are 40 or 50 people that are from the area. So, but the lateral was a necessity because they couldn't hire a large group.
You're not backfilling on watches.
No.
You're running short staff. Is that even legal?
Yeah, it's legal. We're running on-duty people, but if we run like an operation, like today we're running a couple of police operations. Last night we did one. We're able to backfill that for those things. But example, what becomes difficult for us is if there's an event going on or a big parade, like you mentioned, big parade, we have to take officers and put them on the parade before we were short. But everybody has to do that. It's the same here as it is in the Park District, the Mission District, Tenderloin District, Ingleside. So it's a shortage, but we're starting to come back up again. And we're lucky we have, the people we have now are veterans. So remember now, when you're short, you have veteran people. But when you get newer people, there's a huge learning curve to teach them. So there's more academy classes on the way.
Yeah. What about another sensitive topic, cop boxes? Feinstein went to Japan and she went to Europe, and she came back and said they've got these great little kiosks that's set in the middle of tourist areas and all this, and the cops there change. There are 2 or 3 of them. 2 of them walk one way, one the other, and they keep going that for a whole shift. And you guys did that for a while. You did that, and you did that at 20. You did it 24th and Mission. You did it 16th and Mission.
24th and Mission, Dollar Market. They had one in Japantown and Chinatown.
Corrales said, he said it took them out because people kept shooting at them.
They didn't shoot them down here, but the thing is,
would you make a good wino as a decoy?
Yeah.
Corrales does it. Do you see that Corrales is going out making pop busts at 70 years old?
We make a rest down here. The boxes are good to a certain point, but it becomes a fixed thing. What happens is they just go around the corner of this place.
Yeah.
So they're good to a point.
But the Europeans have, there's like 3 to 4 cops assigned to them, and they'll walk in different directions, and then they come back and they do it. I don't think you have a solvable problem here, because I think that it's like I say, near 70 years and 40 years in the business of working with disturbed people and having them masters of it. There's certain areas, and the Tenderloin is by nature and by design a containment zone, not just police-wise, but it is socially-wise too. I mean, it's a tough population. It's the toughest population in the city that you have to work with.
But we always say that, Brian, I mean, a lot of saints and a lot of sinners down there. But there's a lot of good people like I said before, what's frustrating for us is, years ago it wasn't like that. As you know, they had, Tenderloin, you're talking 40 or 50 years ago, they had, bars or dance halls, but it's changed now, and the people who live and work here are not commit hardly any of the crimes. It's the 2/3 that live outside the area that come in here.
Yeah. They used to live here. Got forced out.
Well, not really. This
when they gentrified the projects in the hills and all that.
Well, you'd be surprised. They didn't used to live here. It's not. They come in here, and it's tough for people who are on a fixed income or maybe going through a program, with a service provider. They have to go outside. They get involved, and there's activity outside. That's the big thing we try to put the kibosh to.
Quick question. We've eaten up the time that I asked you for and all that. Would you ask if you had kids? Would you ask one of them to be cops in the general?
As a mom, no, I wouldn't want any of my children being police officers. I worry about them enough already, and I mean.
Would you want them to be a public defender or a DA?
Our son's in college, and
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and at this point he wants to study law and he wants to be a prosecutor. He said.
Wow.
At this point of his life, who knows? He might change. He wanted to be a veterinarian. Semester before, so.
That's true. You come from a long line of cops, I bet.
No. They were all in the liquor business and butcheries. Maybe it's the same thing.
What's the difference?
No, but I have 2 daughters, and one of them said, "Hey, I wouldn't mind driving the paddy wagon. That's cool, But it depends on the area. It depends on the individual what they do. I have a nephew who's in the police department, and he loves it. But he was going to San Diego State, and he came in, so he likes it now. But it depends. Like Irene was just saying, people change their occupations. My daughter wanted to do English when she got into college. Now she wants to do editing and publishing, and one was an art major. Now she wants to do international. People change, especially now in this world. It's a little more tech-wise. It's more tech-wise. We come from the time where people went into the military, or they went to school, or they learned a trade.
The best jobs were fire and cop, period.
But you don't see the tradespeople anymore.
And I wasn't tall enough for either of them.
You don't see the trades.
You weren't either.
You don't see the trade stuff anymore for people who are doing the trade.
Yeah,
So it depends. Like I was saying, it depends on the kids, especially nowadays. Everything's so fast paced. They can change what they want to do. It's still, what? If I was telling them to come down here, I told my nephew to come here. He's at a different station, but since I'm here, he can't come here, right? So
tell me this is going to be tough. Tell me the funniest case you had over 30 plus years.
The funniest thing for me over the last 30 years that I can never forget, I was a patrolman working in Tenderloin, and someone broke into a business on O'Farrell Street down by Lower Union Square, and we went inside the building at night. This is when we couldn't get a dog to come down, and we had the flashlight, and the guy at Southern Station shined the light on a mannequin, and I tackled the mannequin. I tackled the mannequin. It was at Rhodes.
Gotta love a hero who can laugh at himself. You guys, together or apart, funniest case you had?
I wasn't with Irene at the time. It was probably my first month down here in the Tenderloin. Guy got out of a stolen car and started running east on Eddy. And I have no idea the name of the street, so I'm thinking, okay, where are we going? He turns to go south on Taylor, turns back to look at me, comes back around, runs right into the light pole now.
Sometimes they make it easy, huh? How about you?
On the spot now.
You can only remember the bad things? Come on, you got to highlight the laughter.
It was similar, kind of like Brian. I was chasing somebody, and they turned around, but there was a guy that was sweeping, and he stuck out his broom, and the guy just went like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's similar, kind of similar. But
We aren't going to ask them the worst thing they've seen, because we've all seen things that we don't want to repeat. And I did make it to be a firefighter for 5 years, and the funniest thing that happened to me was the first decent fire that I got in, and this is St. Louis County, is they always raise. I mean, you're the rookie, you're screwed. You know, we got in and I'm 3 back on the hose or whatever, and we come in and it's hotter than hell, and we're going back and they're yelling, "Come on, where's the rookie? Do this and all that. This is bad. Look, this thing is going to go down. It's going to go down." He said, "Well, where is this?" and all this, and so I'm going like back and forth, and I hit my mask, and it cleared. It had steamed up, and they were all sitting around watching me crawl around on the floor. So we get it from every angle, and you get razzing it. Guys, thanks a lot. I don't want to hold you back.
Thank you very much.
Captain, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian,
Thank you very much. See you again.
Okay.
See you again.
And as I follow close behind her, I tried to cheer her up and I tried to be, but all my sorrows, they would not hide from when they laid her down. Well, can this circle be approached? Well, by and by, Lord, by and by, they are better off waiting up in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
we're finished. We got a good 20, 25 minutes out of interviewing with the cops, which is really good. We'll put that in. The manager didn't show up for her interview. I thought that was interesting, but we'll try to squeeze in an interview with her unless she doesn't want to do it, which would be really unusual. But it'll fly. We're trying to
Action.
we're back in the room. We're back in the Bulldogs kennel here. H. Brown with Tony De Renzo. We've just completed our first Paper Tigers show. We did an interview. We thought we were hoping to get 10-15 minutes with the cops, and we got about 25-30 minutes with them, which was very, very excellent. We're going to be doing these shows once a month if we can get the support for them. We'll put together the piece that we did today with a few other things that we have, and the idea is to give you a shot of this building. This building is a complicated place, and this neighborhood's a complicated place. There are 214 residents here. Lots of them have caregivers. That's people that come in every day to do everything from clean their room to wipe their ass if necessary. It's crude but true. The building's residents are, for the most part, disabled. They've all been homeless. I lived in the building 7.5 years. I came in under a program that's called DAH, Direct Access to Housing, as did all my neighbors. There are some very talented people here, but you've got caretakers, you've got the management of the building, you've got a manager and 2 assistant managers, you've got counselors to handle the building. It's a whole supportive housing thing. We've got, most of us have our money handled. To come in, they want to make sure they get their rent every month. So you go through a thing called LSS, Lutheran Social Services, and your Social Security check is sent directly to them. They pay your rent, and you can add whatever you want for them to pay. I have them pay my cable, and now I have them pay $50 a month dental insurance into Native American Clinic down on Cap Street. So you get into the building, you have money management, you have people to take care of you when you get up in the day, in the morning, and go to bed at night. If needed, you have counselors, social workers, and you have a variety of programs that are aimed at engaging the people within the community with one another, so they trust one another, so they help one another. But anyway, H. Brown for Paper Tigers, filming out of CCR on the Bulldog. Tony De Renzo, SF City Watch, producing, directing, and putting the video itself together. Thanks an awful lot, and we'll be right back at you.